believed in a lot of things that I do. And I used to sing, but I used to just sing. I didn't know I was going to become a singer at that time. I don't know if he knew that I was becoming a singer, but my mother used to sing those little songs like Ekimbewo. My mother is the one that taught me Ekimbewo. And the dance of Ekimbewo. So I grew up with that Ekimbewo in my head, and I taught my children Ekimbewo. You can't believe that Rachel sang Ekimbewo before I did. I call it my little song. It's my little song. I used to sing it in the kitchen when I'm sad, when I'm watching young I will sing my children because that's what my mother taught me. She taught me the song itself. Ekimbewo is a song and a dance. If you can't do this, you don't know Ekimbewo. When you sing Ekimbewo, you have to know. You're doing this and you're also using your waist. That's what my mother taught me. So I brought my son here to do his raps in an African way. And then he said, I have some time left in the studio. And at that time, Steve Jean was at Casino.
About 2 weeks in the studio, which used to be called Superstar. I don't know if he's still around, Casino Studio. And Ayimba turned so fast and so long that I had time left. So I said to my mom, I said, hey, why don't you go up in the studio and do something? She goes, do what? I said, see, you could have Ayimba Kariko to you and what song? I said, Ekimbewo song. She said, okay. So she went up in there, but I don't have a voice to it. I said, just go up in there and figure it out.
So I started, Ekimbewo change, Ekimbewo change. Yes, I did. Right. I said, Ekimbewo, Halima Ekimbewo, 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 in the studio. Ekimbewo, nze nabagamba, Ekimbewo change. I said, oh, this is my song. Akayimba, my little song. So I started singing. Segal was there, Fauzia.
That when Halima was setting out to do her Ekimbewo album, young Amber when they were in the studio with Steve Jean, Ayimba nga baleeta backup singers naye nga maloboozi gabatera kwatagana because she had a husky voice, and then these other singers, Nina, the sopranos and all that, so they would not blend so well. So as they were there, now Gamba, but there's a girl who looks like me and she's a singer. Now Gamba, which girl? She gave me a call. Then I Kasukira Studios, and then there was Segawa, Robert Segawa, and then Steve Jean at that time. So that was my first time to set foot into Kasukira Studios. So now my man went in your direction. Maybe I was like, I want to try out on something between. So we went in the studio and went to I'm a Mechidongo, Hetai, I'm a Maeg. And Steve Jean was the king of beats.
Steve Jean did it for me and just created, man. That's how she did it.
And it was my niece who passed away. Her name is Halima Namakula. She was a good dancer and a singer. If you look in Ekimbewo, you will see Fauzia and you will see Sylvia. They were my dancers in Ekimbewo.
We have very many producers ready to recreate the sound and make it fit in what was now seen as urban sound. So everybody sort of had most of the music that people are producing today, so it was either folklore or they were producing our local genres, music which was very specific, our country music of sorts. So now when she teamed up with Steve Jean, they came up with a certain pop sound that was Afrobeat, that was, you could dance to it, yes, you could also listen to it. And the song and the lyrics were familiar, because you see when you combine the two, a very good genre and familiar lyrics or sound, people connect. So that's what happened. And then she did that rhyme Ekimbewo, which is very popular among the kids. Anybody who grew up in this society here is very familiar with what Ekimbewo is. So she did that, and then it was mixed very well and well blended with an urban sound. It became a hit.
It's how she, at her time, redefined what a hit song is. You know, at her time, redefined what a star should be like. Because that was a time when you had to sing like Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey to be considered, a full artist. And she came and brought us something we've never had before. It was about nice beats, catchy tunes, catchy chorus, and she made us feel good. And I think for me that's something that stands out for her.
She gave birth to something that swept the country off its feet, all generations. Now, the old people were enjoying a song they used to dance to when young. Because of its good rhythm, the young people were also enjoying it. Some were listening to it, hearing it for the first time, others were reliving their sweet old